All right. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get started here. Before we get into our presentation, I do want to talk to you about a summary of the Torah portion. We covered chapter number 3 through 7, starting with verse number 27 of chapter number 3, Shabbat Shalom, and all the way to chapter number 7, verse 11. Just to recap on everything, chapter number 3 was just a few verses, and in those verses, Moshe begins to plead with the Most High to ask him to enter the promised land, and of course, the Most High told him no. He actually said, "Don't ever mention it to me again. Go into the top of the mountain. I want you to turn to the west. I need you to turn to the north. I need you to turn to the south, and I need you to turn to the east. And you can look upon it. And the only one who's going to go before you is Yehoshua, which the Most High has commanded for him to take the children of Israel into the promised land, crossing over the Jordan." Chapter number 4 is a very, very long chapter. Okay. And this chapter is talking about some of the fundamentals of who the Most High is and talking about his voice. Number one, we get a warning about how we should never add or subtract from the words of the living Elohim. And what he means by that is don't add nothing upon what I said and don't subtract or don't diminish from what I said. I can't have all the slides because it'd just be too many. It's huge. So what we do is we go through the Torah portion and we find different things every cycle that we go through. That's why it's so important to follow the Torah, because on every cycle, you're going to go to the same location that you were last year, but this time you're going to see something a little bit different. This time you're going to stay there and you might pick up some more information. So on this journey that we're walking with the Most High, we're picking up different things. Okay. And then it goes on to talk about a lot of information about how we're different than all the other nations and how the Most High has set us apart and how we should never make any images. And we're going to cover a little bit about that today. Chapter number 5 is dealing with what they call the 10 words. It's the 10 statements, which I don't have time to go through that in detail because it's just way too long. It's telling us how we got the words of the Most High and how we heard his voice and how we saw the fire of the Most High. And so Moshe has put a lot of emphasis on this idea about not following or worshiping any other Elohim. He says, you only seen this. Okay, you only saw a fire, and out of that fire, you heard a voice speaking to you. You saw some different things. You saw when he came to get you out of Mizraim. You saw these things. You're witnesses to that. Chapter number 6 goes on to talk about how we are to take hold of the Torah. How are we supposed to listen to the Most High and think about his power, and how are we supposed to teach the Torah to our children in the following generations about what Yah has done, okay? And then also, too, on how we're supposed to conduct ourselves in our home, when we're outside of our home, when we're on vacation or when we're traveling, and how we're supposed to bind the words that the Most High has spoken to us is very important for us. It's actually imperative that we understand what those words are. And then, of course, all these are talking about when they go into the land and how they're supposed to behave while they're inside of this land. And then finally, in chapter number 7, we get a little bit of information, just a few verses on how not to make a covenant with the people that you're going in to destroy. I don't want you to make any treaties with them. I don't want you to marry with them. If you do, I'm going to destroy you. So there's this idea of it not being compatible, right? So you're not supposed to merge or join up with any other type of people because it's a crime against the Most High. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started in our Torah portion. And I'm going to bring out some ideas that I found in it. And I just want to share them with you. Now, here's the thing. Everyone is going to find something a little bit different, okay? You're going to pick up something, okay? So the highlighted part that I want to discuss today is what this actual title means, or what this Torah portion means. Every Torah portion has a name. Like, for example, last week, the Torah portion was called Davarim, okay, which talks about the words. This week is called Etanon. Next week is called Aquaid, right? So all these different titles and these different names are giving you the theme in which the Most High wants you to kind of focus on, right? So why etanon or why ethkanon means here in English, and I pleaded, okay? I have it here in Hebrew. Don't be intimidated by it. I color-coded it so you can kind of see with what these words are or what these letters mean. So the wa means and. The eth right there is a part of the word ethkanon. So we have our word ethkanon right here. Ethkanon, okay? So, and then we have el, meaning right here. Okay, that means two. And then, of course, we have Yahweh's name. So here is the transliteration of what's being spoken, right? So basically what's on this line right here and how you pronounce it is Wa eth kanan el Yahweh. Wa eth kanan el Yahweh. Okay, easy way to remember that. Now, what do eth kanan mean? What does it really mean? All right. So wa means and eth kanan means something, right? So we want to find out what that means. The eth right here is not, as you would see in Hebrew, called an aleph and a tav that represents to point to a certain direction, okay? Meaning pointing to Canaan. It could mean that, but it has a grammatical meaning that I need to share with you. This why eth kanan right here is this aleph right here means I, okay? That's what it means. It means I. It's a pronoun I. And then this tav right here is telling you something about the action that I have done. Moshe is talking. He's going to tell you how he's doing something, okay? That tav right there is him letting you know that I've done something on myself. This is not something that anyone else has caused me to do. This is something that I've done on my own, okay? I've done this to myself. The Most High didn't do this to me. None of the children of Israel, Aaron, none of my friends, my family, no one. And what was he saying? He was saying, and I was looking for something. So our idea of pleading is this word Canaan doesn't mean plead. They've taken it and put it in English to mean plead, but it doesn't mean that. I have to show you what it means in order for the Torah portion to make more sense to you, okay? So Canaan means that it's a wall. Let me go back right quick. It's a wall. The first letter is a ket, means a wall. The second letter is a nun, meaning continuance, okay? And what it means, everyone, as you can see in our photo over here, is these tents that are continuing. They're continuing. They're making a line, or they're making a wall, or they make some type of encampment, okay? So Moshe is asking the Most High for something. And what he's asking him for is to continue. He's asking the Most High, not pleading that he should just plead and cry to him. He's asking the Most High, I want to continue to camp with the children of Israel. I want to continue with them, okay? And this idea of Canaan has to do with compassion. Because in camps, like you see right here in this photo, everyone is living amongst each other, okay? They've created a wall. The wall represents protection, but this camp is continuing. And as you know, the children of Israel were in the hundreds of thousands, even to the millions. And so it was a group of families, and they were in their sections. And every time you were in your camp, you would have this idea of grace and compassion. The person who's staying in this tent right here is looking out for the person next to them. These people over in this section right here are bound to wake up in the morning with each other. We have a sister on here who actually I went camping with, and what they would call Sukkot. And she went camping with us, and her husband was a chef. I call him Chef Jeff. Chef Jeff would wake up and he would cook breakfast for everybody. We had about 15 people there, who all were following the Torah. And it was a wonderful experience. And we experienced that through camping. Okay. And it's through that time that we saw Jeff's compassion, because he would make meals for us. He would introduce us to the vegan lifestyle, and it was wonderful. And she can testify to that. Okay. Also, too, when everyone got to the camp, they began to help one another. They begin to someone drove up late, and it's like, okay, what do? We'll help them pick their spot. We help them set up their tent. We help them unload their truck. We help them get established, right? And so that's what the idea of camping is. And so when the Most High is going to share with us today about this idea about compassion, that's what I found in our Torah portion is about compassion. So Moshe is not just asking, hey, I'm pleading for something. He's not. He's looking for the Most High to allow him to continue to camp with the children of Israel. Okay. And it's because he says something. He says, Supreme Master Yahweh Elohim, you have begun to reveal your greatness to your servant, to him. You've shown this to me. You've begun this, and I want to see the end. Oh, praise be to the Most High. I want to see the end. You have begun something, but I want to see it finished. I want to see it finished. I want to see it come to perfection. I want you as your servant that I've been serving you. I want to see the things that you have planned for your people. And I want to see, and you've shown this to your servant. You've shown me what you did in Mizraim. You've shown me what you did to their army. You show me through the signs and the wonders. You show me by the salvation of Israel by opening the Red Sea. You shown me how you fed the children of Israel in the wilderness. You shown me how you gave them quail. You've shown me how you give them water out of a rock. You've shown me. You showed me your cloud. You showed me your fire. You've begun to show me these things. And I know that there's more. And you've done this by your strong hand. And that's what he wanted. He wanted to continue with the Most High. He wanted to continue to see the great things that the Most High wanted him to see. And that's something that all of us have a desire. I desire that. I desire to want to be in the camp with Israel. I desire to get out of exile, go to the land, and live with the Most High. I desire to see all of you in the wilderness, and for Yah to make a separation so we can find out what tribes we belong to. I'm interested. I've seen so far the work that Yah has done by calling his people from the four corners of the earth. We see people here that are in Texas. We see families that are in Canada. We see families that are in Africa. We see all over the world. The Yah has begun to do a great thing. He's begun to show his greatness. And I want to see Yah reveal his strong hand and his mighty arm. And I want to see him regather us to our own land. I want to see him cleanse us and give us his spirit. I want us to have the download of the Torah. Yah has just begun to do some work in our lives. This is the beginning for us. This is not the end. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of Yah restoring his people. And it's a process. And it takes time. In your Torah portion, you found this idea of, some people call it interrogatives. I used to call it that until I found out that the proper pronunciation is the interrogatives. Okay, so depending on how you say it, some people say interrogatives, some people say interrogatives. The correct pronunciation is the interrogatives. And the interrogatives is the idea of asking questions. In your Torah portion, you found questions that were being asked. Some of them were rhetorical and some weren't. Some have to be answered, okay? Supreme Master Yahweh, you have begun to reveal your greatness to your servant and your strong hand. For what other Elohim or God is there in heaven or on earth that can do the works and the mighty deeds that you do? That's the question that he was asking. See? And the question here is, they asked they said in the English, what? For what other God? That's not what it says in the Hebrew. That is the English translation. They used the interrogative of what. We're not talking about what, people. We're talking about who. You see the purple there? That's called me. It's not ma. Ma means that's unknown to him. He's not asking a question about what other God. He's asking who. is an El in the Bas Shamayim and Uva Aretz? That's the question that we all have. And it's from this word called me, like you would say me, okay? The Hebrew letter right there, that's what it looks like for the letter M right here. This is what it looks like. And here it is in English, transliterated. It has the same identical sound, identical, me, okay? This dot right here and this yo right here represent this sound here, like in B or me, okay? Two E sounds, okay? A long E sound, okay? So that's what it's called, me. Now you learned a word today, a Hebrew word called me. Me means who. That's what it means. It means who. It's an interrogative, okay? An interrogative or an interrogative, whichever way you want to say it. The proper way is interrogative. But if you have a difficulty saying, just say interrogative. It's easy to remember, okay? So he says, know today and establish it in your heart that Yahweh is Elohim in heaven above and on the earth below, and there is no other. There is no other Elohim. This is what we need to understand. There is no other Elohim in heaven. There is no one sitting beside the Most High. There is no one that has the ability to do what he has done. There's no one on the earth below that's an Elohim like Yah. There's no one. Because Yahweh is the me. Yahweh is the who. That's who he is. He is the who. He is that interrogative. He is the subject. He's not the object of anything. He is the subject. In our Torah, we find this idea of comparability, okay? That which is comparable. So we find that Moshe has said, look, I taught you laws. He's talking to the children of Israel. I taught you Kukim and Mishpatim, just as Yahweh, my Elohim, ordered me. Okay, so that's taught past tense. He's talking about the 40 years plus that they've been in the wilderness. This whole time, ever since they received the Torah, he's been teaching it to them for over 40 years so that you can behave accordingly in the land where you're going in order to take possession of it. Therefore, observe them and follow them. Observe means to guard, and follow means to do, to walk in their paths. For then all peoples will see you as having wisdom and understanding. When they hear of all these laws, these kukim, they will say, this great nation is surely a wise and understanding people. What did they say? They said, Mi goi godol. Okay, they're asking a question. They're not just making a statement. They're not just saying this great nation is surely a wise and understanding people. They're saying who? Who is a nation that's great? Who is these people? Who are these people? Who are so wise and so understanding? Who have the power to ask questions? Wisdom has to do with asking questions. You and I will be able to ask the Most High when we live in his presence questions and get your answer. Just like it says in Jeremiah chapter number 31, that all will know me from the least to the greatest. And no man will have to teach his brother because they will all know me. Who are these people? What is the Torah? These kukim, who is these people? Who are these people? Who is this Elohim? Because the nations don't follow our Elohim. They follow idols. When you and I follow the Most High and we follow the Torah, you and I begin to become wise. And we become a people of understanding. We become a people of family. Understanding means knowing how to build. That's what it means. And the same word that they have in Hebrew for build is directly connected to a family, which is connected to a son and a daughter. Once we become understanding, this is why Moshe kept telling the children of Israel, make sure you teach your children, make sure you teach your children, your son and your son and your grandson.
That's a people of understanding. If you understand who you are and you understand what Elohim it is and who you serve, you are going to teach your children. So you won't lose your legacy. You won't lose your inheritance. And as a result of our ancestors not doing what Most High said, they become a very unwise people and a very dumb people. Most High has even said that my people are stupid. They don't even listen. They're a bunch of rebels. I deal with them all the time. All the time. Not you folks, but there's a lot of people out here that just refuse to listen to what the Most High says. They want to do what they want to do. It's only the Torah, it's only the laws, the statutes, and the rulings that are going to make us wise. That's the only thing that is going to make us wise in understanding. Here's another transliteration that's improper. For what great nation is there that Elohim has Elohim as close to them as Yahweh Elohim is whenever we call on him? Again, it's not for what great nation. It's who is this nation? Who is the Goi Gadol? Who is this great nation? You see, and he's letting us know that there is no other great nation outside of the nation of Israel. Right now, we're in a fallen state. Well, we're not always going to be like that. The Most High is returning us back to our original state. Haftarah. Your Haftarah, they also have some comparability. So the Torah, he's talking about the nation and talking about what type of nation we are and how we have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and who we should be. We're the subject of everybody's conversation. Okay. So in your Haftarah, in the book of Isaiah, you find that there's a comparison that's being made between ourselves as the nation of Israel and the other nations. Here's what it says. The nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are like a drop in a bucket. They count like a grain of dust on the scales. The islands weigh as little as specks of dust. They mean nothing. Absolutely nothing compared to the children of Israel. Do you hear what he just said? Before him, who Yahweh, all the nations are like nothing. This is in your Haftarah, chapter number 40 of Isaiah. If you didn't get it last week, here it is, Isaiah chapter number 40. Read that chapter today. The nations are like nothing before the Most High. He regards them as less than nothing. They're insignificant to him. But who are you? How does the Most High feel about you and I? Most High says something to our father, Abraham. This is what he said. I will most certainly bless you, and I will most certainly increase your descendants to as many as there are stars in the sky or grains of sand on the seashore. Your descendants will possess the cities of their enemies, and by your descendants, all the nations of the earth will be blessed because you obeyed my order. Our Torah portion speaks of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov as the Most High swearing to them as a promise and as an oath that I will give your descendants this land perpetually forever. And that promise was given based upon what our father has done, because he obeyed. He listened. He shamad Yah's command, his order. Whatever it may have been, he listened to what he said. He says, Lech Lekah, leave your family, leave your father's household and go to a land that I'll show you. He Lech Lekah, he went. Lech Lekah means he got up and he went where the Most High told him to go. The Most High told him to go down to Mizraim. He went. He did what the Most High told him. The Most High told him to circumcise his son. He did it. The Most High asked him to go get three bulls or at the age of a certain age and a turtle dove and a ram, and he did it. The Most High told him to bring his son up there to see whether or not he would keep his command, and he did it. We are weightier than all nations on the face of the earth. They mean absolutely nothing to him. This rubs people the wrong way. I was asked, well, what about these people? What about these? What about them? What about them? What did the Creator say about how he feels about these nations, how he sees them? They're like the dust. They're specks of dust. They count like a drop in a bucket. They don't have any power with Yah. He never gave them his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. He's only spoken to the children of Israel. These other people don't know Yah. There was no other nation there. Yes, there was a mixture of the multitude that was there, but they weren't there to represent all these other nations. They took hold of the children of Israel. They took hold of Yah. They saw Yah's power, and they left with the children of Israel. They were intellectually smart enough to know, well, I just saw the Most High destroy this whole entire nation. It's time to go. I saw that he feels differently about these people that have been mistreated. The people who they were taking their sons and throwing them into the river and unaliving their children. Who is whipping and beating these people. They said, I don't want no part of that. And that's what a stranger and a foreigner has to do. They have to walk away from their nation. Just like you have to walk away from your family, and you got to walk away from your father's house, and you got to walk away from your friends, and you got to walk away from people that are wicked. They got to do the same thing. There's a misunderstanding here when we talk about being blessed, or they're going to bless the nations of the earth will be blessed. Well, I thought you said they mean nothing to the Most High, but the nations of the earth will be blessed. What's the Most High talking about? Why is he saying that these descendants of all these nations of the earth will be blessed? You know what these Christians have done? They have taken this and say that we're blessed by receiving your words and then taking it over to the New Testament and stripping out different parts of what we could consider a prophecy and making it our own. And then we're blessed because out of you came our Savior. And now he's our God. No. They don't understand the language. They don't understand the culture. When the Most High talks about being blessed, he's talking about that they're going to bend their knee. The Hebrew word for blessed means barak, and barak means to bend the knee. When you bend the knee, you're going to show some type of favor to the person. You're going to have a gift in your hand. You see? So when he says, I will certainly bless you, the Most High is saying, because you've been what I've asked you to be, I'm going to bend down and give you a gift. You listen to what I said, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to give you a gift. The gift is, I'm going to give you the increase of your descendants. That's my gift to you. The gift is, I'm about to give your descendants a land forever. The gift is, I'm going to be your Elohim. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to guide you. The gift is, I'm going to deliver you from your enemies. That's the blessing of Yahweh. These descendants of all the nations of the earth will be blessed. What does it mean? The term there will be, you guys, is the fact that they're going to do something on themselves. In the Hebrew, it says it's a hitpael, it's a verb. It's how they're going to do the action. They're not going to have someone else bless them. Israel's not going to bless them. They're not going to passively receive a blessing from us. We're going to give them something. they're going to have to do something themselves. And the action is that, as you see this definition, what does the Hithpael mean in Hebrew? The Hithpael makes up 1.2% of all verbs in the Hebrew Bible. 1.2, not too many. Okay? A common use of the Hithpael is to express the reflexive, meaning the action that's done to oneself. Now, going back here, this is the Hithpael, be blessed. What he's saying is they're going to cause themselves, these nations, of the descendants of these nations, the descendants of these nations are going to cause themselves to do an action on themselves. They're going to make themselves bow down before the descendants of Abraham. They have to, because the children of Israel, like the stars in the sky, we have more weight than they do. They're nothing but dust. They mean nothing compared to us as a nation. Yeah, I said it, and I'll say it again and again and again. There's no other people on the face of the earth that the Most High says that you're my inheritance. There's no other people that Yah has went into a nation and taken a people for himself by his signs, his wonders, and his oaths. There's nobody on the face of the earth that has ever heard the Most High speak out of the fire on the mountain. That's who we're talking about. That who right there is Yahweh. The who is you as a people who have heard what Yahweh has said. They're going to Heath Baraku. They're talking about the nations. They're the Heath. That's the Hithpael. That's what it looks like. Right here, Hithpael. That's what it is. And they will cause themselves to bless themselves. They're going to bow their knee, okay, to your Vazaraka, to your seed, Abraham. All the Kol Goi, all the nations on the earth, because a cave in which you have Shemata Bakoli, you have listened to what I said. Your Torah portion, the word Koli, has been mentioned all the time. I went over last year. I said, well, I'm not going to spend too much time on it today. I want to talk about something else that I found. It's always going to be to listen to the voice of Yah. By the way, the voice of Yah is the 10 words. It's the commands of the Most High. It's what he said is his covenant. Listen what he says to the nations. Come close, you nations, and listen. You pay close attention, you peoples. Let the earth hear and everything in it, the world with all it produces. For Yahweh is angry. Chapter number 34 of Isaiah for your records. 34 of Isaiah. Yahweh is angry. This is why he's telling them to come close. I'm angry. Listen, you peoples, you pay attention. Let the earth hear and everything in it, the world and all it produces. Yahweh is angry at every nation. Every nation, he's angry. He's furious with all their armies. He has completely destroyed them, handing them over to the slaughter. Perfectly in his mind, this is what he's going to do to the nations. Every nation on the face of this earth is going to face the judgment of Yahweh. Every last one of them. Well, they don't know because they don't read. They have the scrolls, people. Just like our ancestors had the scrolls and they didn't want to read them, or they thought let somebody else teach them and they didn't seek it out. That's their problem. When the Yahweh sends out a summons to the people, they're supposed to read the summons. You get something in the mail from the court, if you don't open it up and you don't read it and you don't respond, it's your problem. I didn't know. You got the summons. I didn't get it. Yes, you did. You didn't get served? Yes, you did. You got served. I gave you the summons. Yah does not do anything without first revealing it to his servants, the prophet. Yah is not going to do a peekaboo on the world. He already told them, I'm angry and I'm mad. So what's the appropriate response? We need to do something. If you're smart and you're listening to me right now live, and you're a stranger to the covenant of the Most High Yah, you need to find out what you need to do. You can go to Isaiah chapter number 56. You need to search the scrolls and find out what you can do to escape Yah's anger and his judgment. He tells you, I'll give you a clue, take hold of me. Keep my Shabbat. That's what you do. You follow the same laws and statutes and the commandments, and you show me the same respect that I expect from my people. With whom then will you compare El? This whom right here is the who, but it's different. It's not the object, the subject. It's not the subject. It's the third person, whom. It's the object. Y'all saying, then whom will you compare El? What other individual will you decide that you're going to compare to me? After everything that Yah has done for us, who are we going to compare to him? Huh? We're going to compare some black Messiah with dreadlocks hanging on a tree or on a cross? How about a white one with some blue eyes? Which one? What is he Chinese? Is he Asian? What is he? Is he African? What are you and I going to compare to El, the powerful one? And by what standard will you evaluate him? By what measurement? He wants you to know who he is. He's already told us who he is. Moshe made it clear to us over and over and over again that by him showing you himself, you should know that there is no Ha Elohim, Akarim after him. He's Mavado. He is alone, and there is no one else. Are you going to make an image made by a craftsman, which a goldsmith overlays with gold, for which then he casts silver chains? This image that he's talking about is something that's crafted by some human being. That image can be anything. It could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be a bird, it could be a fish, it could be an animal, it could be a beast, it could be an eagle, it could be whatever. But we found out in our Torah portion that the Most High told us, therefore, watch out for yourselves. That means guard your soul. You need to guard your soul. When he talks about watch, you need to be on watch like you're guarding your life. When it comes to seeing some type of image, he says, since you did not see a shape of any kind, you didn't see any shape on the day that Yahweh spoke to you in Korah from the fire. Do not become corrupt. Don't bring yourself to ruin and make yourselves a carved image having the shape of any figure. This has been something that's hard for our people to understand. He said, no shape of any figure, not a representation of a human being. Yah is not a human being. He's not a male. He's not a female. He made a male and a female. Not the likeness, representation of any animal on the earth, or any representation of any bird or that flies in the air, a representation of anything that creeps along the ground, or any representation of any fish in the water below the shoreline. And he goes on to talk about, lest you be driven to worship that which is in the heavens, of the sun and the moon and the stars. You be impelled and pushed to worship anything. These people had a supernatural experience. And the Most High is asking us to be mindful of this. We need to be mindful that there's nothing that can be compared to Yah. For some human being to say that Yah became a man, they're going to die for that. Anybody in our family that still holds on to say Yah is a human being is going to die for that. He's going to wipe them out for that. There's nothing on everything he mentions right here has been formed and has been shaped. And there's an idea behind it. That's why it comes from the thought life. When anyone makes an image, I need you to hear me and hear me well. Anytime someone creates an image, then they fashion it because of a thought in their mind. They figure, okay, well, this is how I see it. This is how I imagine the eagle. This is how I imagine man standing. This is some images are made with a whole bunch of muscles, and some are made this way and tall, and some are made short and fat. Some are made big and strong. That's from their thoughts. Man is corrupt. You corrupt yourselves when you start thinking that there is a form of the image of the Creator. You're corrupted when you are in any other religion that tells you that this is him. It's here on the cross. This is him right here. He was born of a virgin. This is him. Oh, this is her right here. God is energy. She's female energy. Oh, this is him. This is the animal. Everything he mentions right here can die. Everything that he mentions here can die. Everything he mentions right here experiences corruption. Our Elohim doesn't die. With whom then will you compare me? Who are you going to compare me to? With whom am I equal? Ask the mighty one, the strong one, the powerful one. There has not been a man or a woman on the face of the earth that you and I can put our confidence in. That can save you from your trouble, to pull you out from a nation of your oppression, to deliver you. There's not a man or a woman on the face of this earth that has the power to purify you or I, or to sanctify us, to teach us, to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. There's no human being on the face of this earth that knows intimate details about us and what we need as individuals and collectively. We're all made different, but collectively, we're all the same people. We all have special gifts and talents that's only for us, and we want everybody else to have it. And the Most High said, no, I gave it to you. It's okay to be special in your own right, just as long as you don't try to compare yourself with the Most High Yah, or to make any comparisons to the Most High. When you look outside today and you're looking at these trees, and you're looking at these bushes and these shrubs and these birds and these insects, don't commit the crime of thinking that the Most High is like something that he's created. He's outside of his creation. The Haftarah asks us some questions about who has counted the handfuls of water in the sea. Handfuls of water? Handfuls? Measure off the sky with a ruler? Is he talking about the vastness of the Most High? Who's gauged how high or how much dust is there on the earth? Who's taken the dust on the earth and weighed it out? Who's weighed and has the power to weigh out mountains on scales? What type of scales does he have to weigh mountains on? How enormous and how large and how vast is Yah's understanding? Or the hills in a balance? Who's measured the spirit of Yahweh? Who knows the inner workings? Who has been his counselor? Who has? Who's done this? Who's the subject of this? Who has made Yahweh the object of the action? In any situation, there's always going to be a subject, and there's going to be a verb, and there's going to be an object of that verb. The Most High is saying, who Who is the subject that has done something to me? When did I ever become an object of any man's work? When have you diminished me and minimized me to now people are affecting me now? Yah is not an object of any person's hand or any person's thoughts. Yah is the subject. He's not the object. Whom did he consult to gain understanding? Who did Yah consult? Did he have somebody, a son, sitting on his right hand like the New Testament tells you? Or did he do this himself? Whom is Yah sought out to gain understanding from? Who's sitting there talking to him and telling him what to do? Who taught him? Who taught him to judge? How to judge? To know the difference between right and wrong and justice and injustice. Who taught him what he needed to know and showed him how to discern? Who? These are questions that you and I need to answer. These are not just rhetoricals. These are questions that need to be asked and answered. Haven't you known? Haven't you heard that the everlasting El Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not grow tired or weary? Haven't you known this? Haven't you heard that the everlasting El Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not grow tired or weary? Have you ever heard that? His understanding cannot be fathomed. You and I will never be able to fully understand the creator. We'll never be able to search the depths. We'll never dig far enough in the earth to see the foundations of the earth. You and I will never be able to measure out the sky from one end to the next. So who are you and I going to compare to Yahweh? The idea is for us to know this. And the only way that you and I will be able to know this is if you have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which comes from the Torah. God's giving us enough wisdom and understanding to understand the things of the Torah so that we might be able to keep the Torah. I don't have a slide here, but in Deuteronomy chapter number 29, he says, there's a secret things belong unto Yah and the things that belong to us and our children, but the things revealed to us belong to us so that we might be able to keep the Torah. We've made it about ourselves. And we have forgotten who we're talking about. We have forgotten who we're dealing with. We forgot who delivered us and saved us. We forgot who has destroyed our enemies. We forgot who is going to gather us from all the nations. There was a prophecy that was found in the Torah. Prophecy doesn't begin with just the prophets in Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Amos and Micah and Zechariah and Joel. They start in the Torah. Yahweh will scatter you among the peoples in chapter number 4, beginning in verse number 27. Yahweh will scatter you among the peoples and among the nations. What? The nations don't count as nothing. The nations that Yah says are going to come and bless you and bless themselves, and they're going to bend their knee to you, to which Yahweh will lead you away, and you will be left few in number. There you will serve gods. There you will serve. That means you're a servant. That means you're a slave to the gods, to what? Of the nations, which are a product of human hands made of wood and stone. There's your cross, and there's your cobblestone, which can't see, hear, eat, or smell, meaning they're not alive. They don't exist. However, from there, from where? From the nations, you will seek Yahweh. You will start making inquiry, asking questions. Yahweh your Elohim, and you will find him if you search after him with all your heart and being. All of it. Yahweh is Elohim. He's merciful and he's compassionate. Yahweh is compassionate. Yahweh is merciful. He's slow to anger. He's rich in grace and truth and showing grace to the 1000th generation. And he's forgiving offenses, crimes, and sins, yet not exonerating the guilty, but he's causing the negative effects of the parents' offenses to be experienced by their children and grandchildren, and even to the 3rd and 4th generations. I put this here because it's found in Exodus chapter number 34. While studying the Torah this week, I saw that there was a lot of the idea of making comparisons between us and other nations. I also saw the capability that Yah has that no one else has. And I also saw this idea of compatibility. And we're going to get to the compatibility in a second, but I saw Yah's compassion because this is what Moshe was looking for. He was asking the Most High to show him compassion, allow him to continue. Our prophecy tells us that Yah is the one who's going to scatter us, and when we get there, we're going to serve their gods. But while we're in that, the Most High, and while you're in your distress, when all these things have come upon you in the Akarith Hamayim, meaning in the last days, you will return to Yahweh. Yahweh, your Elohim, and listen to what he says. That listen to is his voice. That's what he says, his voice, okay? For Yahweh, your Elohim, is a merciful El. He will not fail you, destroy you, or forget the covenant with your ancestors, which he swore to them. So there's something very peculiar about this verse that I want to share with you. I want you to know that the Most High says that you're going to return, meaning you're going to shuv to him. This word to in Hebrew is not what we find in the Hebrew language as El, the aleph and the lamed, which is to in Hebrew. Or it could just be the lamed by itself as a preposition. It's in front of the word, okay? What we find right here for this one right here is mistranslated, okay? It's mistranslated, and I'm going to explain it to you. The word to right there, and I should write it, even though I'm going to share the screen with you, is this word here called ad, an aleph and a dalet. And what this means is to see the door. The C is this eye, and the D is the door. So to see the door. And to see the door, well, it means that you're going to see an event over and over again. Okay. So the Most High is saying to us that I want you to, when you're in your exile, when you are scattered, you're not only going to return to me, but you're going to do something. Not that too. You're going to be a witness. You're going to be a witness to me. It's not to me. You're not going to return to me. You're going to return to witnessing. What you're going to do is you're going to proclaim what I told you. You're going to proclaim that I spoke to you on the mountain of Har Sinai, which is Mount Sion. You're going to proclaim that I spoke to you out of the fire. You're going to proclaim that I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim. You're going to proclaim that you should never have another Elohim before my face. You're going to proclaim that you should never make an image of any likeness of anything. You should not bow down to or to serve it. You're going to proclaim my Shabbat, which you find in chapter number 5. You're going to proclaim my covenant. You're going to be a witness to my covenant. This is how you know that you've returned to me, is by being my witness to what I told you. You're testifying. That's what a witness does. A witness testifies. The Torah portion in chapter number 6, in verse number 4, it says, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. In English, it would be, listen, Israel, obey the Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And of course, you are Haptayat Yahweh, meaning to love Yahweh with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your might. And it goes on to say all these other things that he told us to do. But in the scrolls, everyone, I have here the ayin and the dalet. In the scrolls of the Hebrew scriptures, these two letters are larger than all the other letters in that in particular line. When you combine these two letters together, you have what we would call a witness. So when he's telling you to shema to him, he's saying that you need to be a witness to me. And as a witness of mine, because that's what it is, Ad is a witness. That I am right here. That means an I. In Hebrew, that's the picture graph that they have, is an I. It means an I. Okay, that's what that letter means. And then here is the Dalet, and that is a door. So the door of your eye. And what's the door of your eye? Your eyelids. So what I'm asking you to do is to open the doors of your eyes. Okay? And when you open the doors of your eyes, you're opening your eyelids, and what are you going to see? You're going to see the Torah. You're going to see the light of it. And once you open your eyes and you see this, you're going to have to make a decision if you're going to be a witness to what I told you. And you're going to be an eyewitness. And the only way you can become an eyewitness is by doing what I told you. So you saw what I said. I've given you the instructions, which is the Torah, the Mishpatim, and the Kukim. Now I've opened your eyes to it. Now you've become a witness. Now you could testify that what I said is true, or you can be a false witness against me, which goes against what I told you in the Berith, which is the covenant, that you should never bear false witness. You can either be a false witness, or you can be a reliable witness. Okay, so the idea here is the Most High is saying that you are my witness. And if you are my witness, Israel, then you need to love me with all of your heart, and with all of your soul, and with all of your might. That's why I say, Shema Yisrael, listen and obey. Obedience to me is that you're testifying. That's part of you being a witness. You're obeying what I said. You're testifying that I am your Elohim. The Eloheinu means he's our Elohim. I'm your strength and I'm your power. You have witnessed and testified to that. You've testified that I'm Echad. I'm the strong wall. The Aleph on the first part of Echad is strength. The next letter is the Ket. The Ket is the wall. The next one is the Dalet, which is the door. It's just a strong door. You take this as the root of the word, is the parent. The wall of the door. The door to the wall, when the door is open, it unifies the inside with the outside. The moment that you open the door and you say that I'm one, I will then be one and unified with you. Now you become my witness. If you don't testify to what I'm saying and you don't love me, and you don't show me that you love me, and you don't show me that you're unified with me and not with anyone else, that's my witness. This is the one who listens to what the Most High has said. The Most High said, I will show mercy to whomever I will, and I will display compassion to whomever I will. It's a lot of I wills there. But I'm here to tell you, that's a mistranslation. I will is the future tense. I will go to the store. I will study. I will eat. I will go to bed. I will travel. I will. That's future tense. It hasn't happened yet. In the Hebrew, it doesn't say that. In the Hebrew, it tells you right here, Most High, when he puts his pronoun on the end, that right there is I, and it's in the back of the word. Wakanothi. Wakanothi means that I have shown mercy. Past tense. I've already shown mercy. I've already shown mercy. Eth pointing directly to who? To who I want to. It's not I will. I have already shown. I've shown mercy to whomever I will. That's you. You right now who are seeking the Most High, you will find him because you're seeking after him wholeheartedly. And because you're seeking him wholeheartedly, he says, in the past, I've already decided that I'm going to show you mercy. Mercy has been shown to you. It will be. It has been. This is the danger of you thinking that something's going to happen in the future when it doesn't. He's already said it's happened. In the mind of the Most High, he's already shown mercy to you and I. His mercy is found in his name. Yahweh is merciful. He's compassionate. We saw that when he revealed himself. I am Yahweh. Right here. Yahweh is Elohim. He's merciful and he's compassionate. He's already shown you and I mercy as past tense. So Yah determined a long time ago that you were going to receive his mercy because you're turning to him. That's his mercy. That's his compassion. His compassion towards us is that I'm making my name known to you. I've already decided that Dr. Yared was going to be the one that I want. I've already decided that Dawid was going to be the one that I want. I've already decided I was going to stop by Claudia's house. I've already decided I was going to choose Renee. I've decided that I was going to get Ted. I decided that I wanted Kawika. I decided that Sister Pam is one I want. I decided out of the family, I want Kelvin. That's already been determined. And with that being said, you can only testify to that when you seek out the Most High and you discover that mercy has been shown to you. It was not, it will, it has been. The whomever right here is you. You're the Asher. You're the one that I've already shown it to. It's not only that I've shown you mercy. Listen what it says right here. This root right here, this word is Canaan, which our Torah portion is Et Canaan. It still is the wall. It's still the wall that continues. This letter right here is continued. This letter right here is the wall that continues. The very thing that Moshe was asking for, the Most High has shown to you. Oh, praise be to Yahweh. I'm going to let you continue. That's Yah's mercy. That's his compassion. I'm going to let you see it. I'm going to let you see it. You're going to see the land that I promised to your ancestors. You're going to see my promises fulfilled. You're going to see with your very eyes. Like I had Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov to follow what I said. I told them to look at the land and walk through it, and everywhere they stepped their foot belonged to them. Moshe, go up on that mountain. I want to cross over land. No, but I'll let you see it. Yah shows compassion and mercy to whomever he has shown it to. He gives a command out to the heavens and the earth. And he says, sing heaven, and you rejoice, earth. Those are commands. Exclamation mark. Command. You telling me that the heaven is going to sing? You telling me that the earth is going to rejoice? Yes. Break out into song, you mountains, for Yahweh is comforting his people, having mercy on his own, who have suffered. His people have suffered. We're the ones who have suffered. But once he brings us to our land, and he's comforting us and bringing us back, he wants the world and the earth and everything in it in the skies to rejoice. What happened? Praise be to Yahweh. Psalms is not only to bring light, but it is a royal understanding. Dawid said something. He said, I call to El, the Most High, to El, who is accomplishing his purpose for me. Can you guys see my screen?
Okay.
Okay. Yahweh is the one who is going to accomplish his purpose for me. What does this mean to you? It means that Yah is going to bring to a complete end what he wanted to do for you as an individual. And the purpose for him is either for you or I, he says me here talking about himself, that when something comes to an end, it can only end in one of two ways. Either it's going to come to perfection with the Most High, or it's going to come to failure. When I read this verse and I studied it, it really struck me. Because then I began to understand that no matter what I'm going through, no matter whatever challenges I face, my health, my emotional health, my wealth, my whatever, Yah's going to either bring me to failure or he's going to bring me to perfection. No matter what comes my way, and no matter what comes your way, Yah has decided to do a work in your life for you, and it's personal. All of our purposes is as a collective is to serve and to worship the Most High as his people. But to bring that about in the journey that we take, we all have different experiences. Yah's purpose for you or me is to either bring us to perfection or to bring us to failure. And from what he has told us, his desire is to bring us to perfection. And again, perfection doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes. It means that you and I are going to come to maturity, like it would for a plant or a tree or a fruit on a tree. You don't eat a fruit that's on a tree that hasn't ripened, it hasn't come to its maturity. It would be bitter if you ate it. You don't harvest it before it's time. So everything has a time and it has a purpose, and it's exclusive to you as an individual. It's not a group thing. It's what the Most High has to do in your life. It's his purpose. So whatever way that he wants to shape your life is what he's chose he's chose whatever situation, whatever that happened to you when you were a child, to you're an adult, to whatever it may be. He's used those things to shape and mold our lives, to bring about the purpose for us, for him to be mature, to be perfect. The failure there is to be, maybe it's the failure of you're failing in yourself. Like, I thought I was going to be a certain person. I had a whole bunch of plans for myself. Those plans came to nothing. I have failed in my idea of what I wanted to be. I had to become a failure to me before I would understand the purpose that Yah wanted for me. And that's the rub. That's where you are in your life. You have your own desire to do what you want to do, but as Yah's people, it doesn't work like that. You are not the priority to yourself. Yah should be the priority. You shouldn't love yourself with all your heart, your mind, your soul. You should love the Most High with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. You should, that's what it is. That's real talk. The reason why he's calling to the Most High and the Most High El is because he understands who it is that's going to accomplish this in his life. He came to a point in his life of acceptance. And that's where you and I need to come to acceptance. We need to come to acceptance of who is in control, who it is that has our best interests, who it is that we serve, who it is that we have gone against, who it is that we owe an apology to, who it is that we should trust. I know that this lesson made you feel like you was in an interrogation. All these questions I was asking, or yet the Most High is asking us. Feels like we're being interrogated, and you are. These are the questions that you have to ask yourself, and they have to be answered. That's what this Torah portion was about. Who is a nation like you who has ever heard the Most High speaking out of the fire on the mountain and lived? Nobody but you. Who is the Most High has ever went into another nation and performed signs and wonders to take a people out to himself? Nobody but you. Who is the people who have so wisdom and understanding so great like this nation and having Yahweh so close to them as you? You. Who? It's you. Who's the one who done it? Yahweh. There was a question that I have here that I don't have in English. I'll tell it to you in English, but I wanted you to show the word me. Me yatain wahaya lalavam vamze. What this means, everyone, is who is he that will give and exist a heart like this? This is a question the Most High asked in chapter number 5. When the children of Israel were afraid when they saw him, and they were shaking and they were trembling, and they went to the heads of the families, and they went to the elders, and they went and they all gathered themselves, the head of the tribes, and they went to Moshe. And he said, if we continue to hear his voice, we're going to cease to exist. We're going to namuth, we're going to die. If we keep hearing him speak. You go ahead and you go to him, and whatever he tells you, we're going to do. Because we don't want to die. And the Most High said to the people, to Moshe, I've heard the words of the people. I've heard the words that they've spoken to you, and what they have said is good. And then he asked this question, Mi tatain the wahaya lavam vamze. Who of them, who is he or her that will give and haya exist and let there be the hearts like this to fear me? This is an interrogative or interrogative. This is an interrogation question. Yah's interrogating us. Who of you will have a heart to give to me and let there exist a heart of you to fear me? Which one of you? Will you, Akika? Will you, Pam? Will you, Kelvin? Will who? Which one of you guys? Who of you will do this? That's the question the Most High is asking. Because it's necessary in order for things to go well with us and our children. It's necessary for us in order to continue. Which one of you? Who will give and exist a mind from them like this? That's the question. That's what we're going to end this study on. Who? And that's the question you and I need to answer. And remember, if you say anything to the creator of the heavens and the earth, you want to make sure that you say it and you mean it. You don't want to say, I will give you my mind. See, the heart there is like, oh, my emotions, right? The Most High is not only asking for our emotional part of us, he's asking for that. But emotions can come and go. They could be, you could feel good one moment, the next minute you don't. You could be happy, you could be sad. It's all over the place, very volatile. Okay? The one thing that is constant and should be constant is the intellect of the person, the mind. That's what the Most High is after. When he says your heart, he's talking about your mind. Yah wants to govern our minds. That's what he's after. And your eyeballs is directly connected, which are your witnesses, to your brain, to your mind. It's what shapes your mind and gives you thoughts and ideas, and you get knowledge and wisdom and understanding from what you see, visual observation. So this is real. This is not fake. This is not imaginary. This is not spiritual. This is for real. I want your intellect. I want you to have enough sense to know that I'm speaking to you out of the fire. I want you to have enough sense to know that I'm not what I've made. I want you to have enough sense to do what I asked you to do in the Torah. To read it, to study it, to learn it, to teach it. Be mindful. That means to have a constant awareness of where you are right now. Not living in the future in something that doesn't exist, but living in the moment. Right now. Whatever you feel, whatever you're experiencing. Give attention to that. Gauge that, measure that. And then take the appropriate action and steps. Your Torah for next week is called Akev. Chapter number 7, verse number 12, to chapter number 11, verse number 25. Your Haftorah will be Isaiah, chapter number 49. I didn't even put Isaiah up there, but I know it's Isaiah. Forgive me. Isaiah 49, verse 14, to chapter 51, verse number 3. And then, of course, your Psalms, your royal understanding, your giving of light will be chapter number 72, all the way to chapter number 97. And there's a connection between all of these readings. So take the time in the upcoming week. Today you rest. And today you meditate upon the things in which you have heard. Today we thank Yahweh for his mercy, and we thank him for his compassion. I say Shabbat Shalom to you.